Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the interactive English, which is a lesson with one of the members of the Achievers Chamber. That is a Discord group that I have for high level learners. My name is Zdenek, and you're listening, you're watching, whatever you're doing with it. You're here, and that's what matters. And also, Matthius is here. Hi, Matthius. You are the student
Hi,
today. How are you doing?
I'm good. And you are?
I'm fine, thanks. It's been 2 months since we had you here last time. So, what has
Yeah.
changed since then in your life?
Uh, I suppose I got a part-time job,
Mhm.
and on top of that, I suppose it's just basically summer, so enjoying my life in there.
Oh, okay. What's the summer like in Slovakia these days?
Hot.
Nothing new under the sun, pun intended.
Yeah.
Right. So, Matthius, you know what's happening here. Interactive English. That's when we basically have a chat about a topic that we have chosen, and obviously the viewers are welcome to partake in this. In the comment section they can ask us anything or respond to anything that we are saying, and obviously we might even put some of these comments on screen if they're any good. And yeah, so I will also be making notes about your English, and at the end of the show we'll go through some of the language to see if we can learn from it. So, what is the topic for today, Matthius? What have I picked for us? I mean,
Well,
people can probably see it in the title, but what is it?
we are going to talk about Baldur's. Oh my God, Baldur's Gate, um, th- three, three, three.
Mhm.
Yeah. I probably butchered that again, so
We should
never
what?
mind.
Sorry.
Butchered the number three.
Exactly. You have
Yeah.
butchered that word. Yeah, you're right. We will have a look at the pronunciation later. Don't worry. So, but I like the phrase you have. I have butchered. Butchered. So I'm writing it down as well. Okay, Matthius, what is Baldur's Gate 3 then?
Well, it's a computer RPG, so that means computer realistic. What was that acronym again? I don't remember. But basically,
CRPG, they call it.
CRPG. But I
Hmm.
I don't know what um, the RPG stands for.
Role playing game.
All right, I should know that.
You should. Of all people, I would expect you to know that.
Yeah, I just forgot,
That's okay. Yeah, that's
like
okay.
always. Sometimes.
Yeah, CRPG, and well, I think you're the best person to talk about this. Not because you are currently playing the game. That's actually me. I own the game. I've decided to buy it. I've decided to start playing it. You didn't get it yet, but I think, is it fair to say that you like it?
Yes, I like it, but mainly because I play D&D the my of time, which is basically the Baldur's Gate is basically based on Dungeons and Dragons. So
Hmm. Yeah, we have already talked about this topic here many times. So, so we know what that is, right? D and D.
yeah, if any,
Okay.
if any,
Yeah.
if anyone doesn't know, they can just ask. So
You.
they can ask me. Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank God. Okay. Well, so we should probably ask this question: like, what kind of game is it then? Like, maybe for a lot of people, this means nothing when we say, "Oh, it's a CRPG." Okay, what is that? What is D&D? You know what? It's these are just some terms that we are sort of throwing around, but they have still no idea like what they can imagine under
Yeah.
such game. So of course they could Google it, they could watch videos,
Or
but if we were to explain it to them, what would we say?
it's basically a game where you create your own character based on many things. In the end, you both basically do it from like races, weapons, classes, which are basically what you can do, like fighter,
Hang
cook.
on, hang on. Slow down, slow down, slow down, slow down.
Yeah,
Let's start from the beginning, make it simple for the viewers. So you're creating your own character, so you can choose who you are in that world that you're going to be playing in, and also you've got some mates normally, like friends who you play with. That's
friends,
D&D. Yeah,
colleagues. Yeah,
right. But first you choose your own character. So that's a big part of it. That's the character creation. So that's exactly what
process.
happens in Baldur's Gate. This is Baldur's Gate 3, by the way. The original game was made back in the 90s when you were not even alive. So it's like a blast from the past kind of game. And that's probably why I jumped on the bandwagon as well, because I kind of remembered that game and I heard a lot about it. There's a lot of hype around this game and very, very glowing reviews, overwhelmingly positive reviews. So I couldn't resist. I was trying to, couldn't resist. I got the game because I just had to. Anyway, going back to the character creation part, so that's what happens at the beginning of the game. We are not spoiling anything here. I
Yeah.
mean, you would expect that from this kind of game. And then you started mentioning the different things that you can choose. So let's go over that again. So what do you choose for your, I guess, your name, right?
Your name, but sometimes you don't really choose the name. It depends if you want to be called something common, something interesting, or
Mm.
something like, well, you basically mash your head against the keyboard and see what comes up.
Okay.
And the other thing that you pick is your race, because there are a lot of different races in the game. You have
Race.
your
What do you mean
basic
by
humans.
race? What do you mean by race? Sorry. What exactly do you mean
Um,
by race?
by race, I mean,
What are the most common races in the fantasy universe?
in the fantasy universe, you have humans, elves, dwarves. Well, I know about halflings because they are in D&D. You also have orcs, which are called different in the Baldur's Gate. You have half elves, half orcs.
And
I
so
mean,
on.
there's
And there are some other races that appear in the game, for example, goblins, but you cannot play for goblins in the game, basically. Yeah.
yeah,
And then there's some other races which are specific to the game, but to I can't remember what it is. And tiefling, one of them is tiefling.
tiefling is from D&D. It's not
Okay.
specific to Baldur's
And
Gate.
there is one more, and it's something like Dothraki, but I know that Dothraki is from the Game of Thrones. Something that sounds like Dothraki, but it's
Yeah,
different. Anyway, it doesn't matter. The point is, you choose your race, and then you also choose your class. So what's a class?
class is basically some spe- spe- specialization that you basically do. Like you can be a mage or a wizard. You can be also a fighter. You can be also a bard, which is basically the musician. You can also be the thief, rogue, and yeah, but basically everything that you can imagine.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You can also be someone holy, like cleric or paladin.
Exactly. And each of these different classes has different abilities. Some of them are more magical, so they can cast spells. Others are more combat based. Some are
Yeah,
cunning, like the stealthy, like the rogue,
rogue.
and so on. And it's just, if you know the fantasy world or D&D, in this game you get what you would expect from it, right? So a wizard is a great spellcaster, and so on. So that's that. And then so a lot of other things like attributes as well. You choose your attributes, like
Yeah,
what are the
your
attributes?
your
Charisma, wisdom.
stats. It's strength, dexterity, constitution, wisdom, intelligence, and charisma.
Mm-hmm.
And charisma, that is
Yeah, that's
called.
better. Exactly. So this is the stuff you choose at the beginning of the game, for some people this even takes like hours to do. But of course, you can kind of do it randomly, and you can even play for one of the pre-selected characters. That's
Yeah,
pretty cool, I think. So you don't. I mean, it's probably more fun if you choose your own character, but you don't have to. You can just choose from. I mean, it's I say like six, seven. Can't remember exactly. You can play for that character because each of these characters is a different story. So that is pretty cool. Did you
yeah,
know that?
yeah. More or less. I can imagine that each of them have their own story because in the end, the most likely you make some kind of backstory, which is basically saying
Yep.
what you are. And sometimes character creations, like the ones that I'm used to, take about 2 hours to do
Hmm.
with new players. With old players, it's up to half an hour. So
Yeah, but a lot of people are having fun. They sort of revel in creating their character, while others might find it a bit daunting or even intimidating. But it
yeah,
is part of the fun, and you should spend some time on that because you will spend a lot of time with this character. So you might as well do it right. Yeah.
yeah, I agree.
And then, of course, a big part of this game is the story. Obviously, we're not here to spoil anything for anyone who might ever consider playing this game. We don't want to spoil it, but let's say if you don't like stories, don't play this game because it's such a massive part of that.
Yeah, basically you have to listen a lot and read a lot to kind of get the point of the game.
And to enjoy it, to be able to
Yeah.
enjoy it.
I
Otherwise,
mean,
like
if you are a maniac that is basically just going to around, God, is just basically going around, punching people with a
killing
stick,
everyone, you can do
and
that as well in this
yeah,
game.
yeah, it's basically just D&D. You can do everything, but yeah, there are some consequences,
Consequences. Yeah.
consequences
Hmm.
that Zdenek learned. Yes, when yeah, yesterday, I think
Well, what
that we
happened?
you were basically just pissing off some guards and they were about to take you to jail, but you killed them.
Hmm. Yeah. So this is interesting. So Matthius is telling you about something that happened to me in the game, and you might be wondering, how does he know? Well, he knows because sometimes in the Achiever's Chamber, when I feel like having a break, I stream one of my games that I play. So it doesn't always happen, but occasionally, if you are an Achiever's Chamber member, you have the opportunity to see me play and even talk to me while I play the game. So this is how I showed Matthius the game, basically, because he doesn't own it yet. And so I can play, and Matthias can watch me play and talk to me about that game. So he saw some of my choices. I probably made him laugh. he, he's an experienced
I
player,
mean,
so
I would say
yep.
more of a facepalm than laughing, because as dungeon master that I am, I basically there is 10 possible paths or options that the players can make. They are going to make a new one that is absolutely the worst.
Hmm.
So yeah, it's basically sometimes like that with you. I just see you make some terrible mistakes.
Okay, so basically you are painting me as one of the worst players of this game now. Thank you
I
for that.
mean, not really. I mean, you were stuck on a combat where I had to help you, just saying that you should stand against a wall. Like,
But you know what I have been learning because now I managed to win that combat already.
yeah,
So yeah, I
it's going to
you have
go
to be
only up
smart.
from here.
You have to be really smart because there are so many choices you can make in this game, and so many like situations can be resolved in so many different ways. It's incredible. This game is just something else, guys. It just gives you so much freedom, so much choice. It's like a sandbox type of game. And with these different types of characters, there's always a different solution. Like imagine, so you either kill someone to get to what you need, or you talk them out of it, or you befriend them, or you cast a magic spell which does something to them. There's so many
Yeah.
different ways to do this. Or you just, I don't know, you intimidate them, or you convince them to do something for you. Or yeah, there's big part of this are quests, right? Of this kind of game.
Yep.
So what are quests?
Quests are basically objectives. It could be some main objective, which is basically the thing that you are basically trying to do as quickly as possible or taking
Yeah,
your time. It's basically your main thing. And then you have side quests, which are basically secondary objectives that you can either do or not to do. But yeah,
exactly. So this game is full of these, and I have to tell you, currently in my quest log in the quest book, I've got so many quests open. It's incredible. I'm getting a little bit overwhelmed, and that's something that can happen to you when you start playing these games. You have to be really patient with this game, and you have to be prepared that there is a learning curve. I- Undeniably, there is a learning curve. Probably this is because I've got a little bit of distance since I haven't played this type of game for a while. When I back in the day when I was more experienced, as when I was an experienced gamer, I would not struggle with such a type of game. But now I can see it takes me a longer time to get into it. That is because you have such a huge amount of choices.
information.
Yeah, a lot of information and choices. Like you can make so many choices. Like literally the number of spells you have, and you're like, oh, what do I do next? So it's like overwhelming.
It's worse in D&D, trust me. You have like 400 spells only for one class.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it's worse in D&D, but most of the spells in D&D are like do this kind of damage. You
Mm,
can move stuff, but most of the more powerful spells you have on the higher levels.
yeah,
But you have less choices to pick from, so you don't have
mm,
to go. I need this spell, and this spell, but I can only have one, so I pick this spell because it's most useful right now.
yeah,
But on lower levels, you have mostly utility spells, which are while powerful, they can be still used effectively. Like Charm Person is one thing that you can do to basically befriend someone. You can also
yeah.
have some healing, damage, and yeah. But if you are overwhelmed by this, I would suggest picking something more fighty, like fighter, monk, or
Yeah.
rogue, which don't really have spells.
But the thing is with this game, Matthias, you do pick one character, but actually in the game you
You
play
get
for
more.
four characters. So unless you play with your friends, because this can be a multiplayer game as well. If you only play by yourself, currently I'm only playing by myself. I hope maybe one day you get the game so that we can play together. But at this point, I'm playing by myself. That means I need to make a party. So not a political party, but party of characters. Yeah. So I have four. You have four characters in your party, and then that means you're playing for all of them. You don't
Yeah,
play just for one. You play for all of them. You can replace those other three, but usually you just want to stick to those. You want to stick to those three. You don't, because you level them up. I don't know how to put it, but you
yeah.
basically spend some time with them. So what's the word I'm looking
You
for?
get attached to
You
them.
identify with them. Yeah, 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 yeah. You know, you get a
Yeah.
sort of you get emotional because you
Yeah,
have
that's basically the
experienced
spirit
something
of
with
the.
them.
I can tell you from experience that you not only get attached to the players that you
That's
play with,
that's
you
the word.
also
Yeah.
get
Mm.
attached to your character. And seeing your character die is probably one of the most sad,
The
or
saddest. Yeah.
the saddest moment that you can go through. So yeah, yeah. I mean something. At least in Baldur's Gate, you don't die permanently, but you get some scrolls that can bring you back from the dead.
Yeah.
Zdenek uses them a lot.
Sorry. Can you say that again?
That you used a lot of these. The, you use a lot of scrolls of River with Fire, or
Oh
how they are
yeah,
called.
yeah. Because basically, again, you're implying that I'm a bad player and my
I
characters
mean, you are
die too
learning.
often.
I- If you are going to to tell baby to play Baldur's Gate, they are obviously going to die a lot. But when you are going to teach them, eventually they are going to become good.
You're funny, Matthius. You're patronizing me. Imagine if
Yeah,
I was a teacher like your game master.
yeah,
I'm joking. It's fine. You can do whatever you want, man.
yeah. Also, there
So,
is one time that
yep.
he just basically threw a rock through his entire party and nearly killed everyone. So that was funny.
Okay. Well, at least you're having fun, right?
Yeah, it's always nice as watching someone else suffer.
Wow. Anyway, I may have changed my mind about wanting to play with you now.
I mean, trust me. If you are going to play with me, you are going to learn far more. far,
I'm gonna go.
you are going to learn far quicker than you think,
Hmm.
because you are going to watch me with the worst possible build, with build referring to the character or the things that you are going to do. Like like I once made a rogue without basically any ability to use stealth because he was just so bad at it, because he had like dexterity, which is the main thing for rogue. I had it on -1, but I maxed out my charisma.
Yeah. So
So
basically,
I
what you're
bas
doing is you're just having fun.
yeah,
You wanna be a rebel, and you're not going for the most obvious thing. So, for example, someone like a wizard is unintelligent when you play for a wizard, and the warrior doesn't have any strength when you play for a
yeah.
warrior.
And you can actually make a build that you are basically warrior that doesn't have strength because you have a lot of weapons that use dexterity, for example.
Hmm.
So you can have a lot of fun with it. This is why I like these kind of games, because you can basically you can either make the most optimal, the best build, or you can just have fun and basically just stealth attack with fireballs.
Wouldn't you sabotage my party with that? Like, why would I hire someone like that? Why would I even put someone like that in my party? Just
because I'm because I'm having fun, but I'm not like going to fail my like I'm not going to sabotage you. I'm not going to make you feel bad about me.
thank
So
God.
what in a well basically with the rock, it's a really fun idea because we can cast spells with
Yeah.
as a stealth attack. So you can use a fireball, which is basically a massive ball of fire. Basically throw it at enemies, and you get like um, well, you basically can deal on average like 70 damage, because why not?
70?
Yeah, 70 damage on average.
That's a lot. I never deal 70 damage when I play this game.
Yeah, and
Maybe.
I think at the fifth level, which is basically the most common level, I was basically dealing on my first spell of the round. I basically dealt like 20 damage, and it was the lowest number that I could roll because reasons. Like you can still to make characters work, and they can even be powerful, but you have to know how to play them.
Okay.
That's
Well,
because I played
interesting.
at D&D a lot, so I can see out of like these strong things, but people don't pick them because they are not optimal. Like, why would
Mm.
you go for a rogue that doesn't have any stealth? But you can basically still do without it, and
So
it
you can
can
still
be
make
even
it
more
work,
powerful.
and yeah, and while being unorthodox and being different, and that's what you like. You like to stand out from the crowd in this kind of way. Why not? Why not? I think the game is complex. I think if you want to play such game, you should be a gamer. It's not for beginners. I don't think so.
Yeah,
So
I agree.
personally, I may not know as much as Matis does, but I'm not completely useless either because I've played a lot of games before, of course. And part of this game is also a tactical combat, which is turn based. So I've got a lot of experience playing games like XCOM, for
XCOM.
example. XCOM, yeah, is one of the most
XCOM.
popular games in this genre, and other games. And so the main difference for me is that this is way more, Baldur's Gate 3 is way more story driven. It's about the choices you make in the story. It's based on what you do in the story that the whole narrative will change. Yeah. So also what's interesting is that you get a lot of options as you talk, as you have dialogues with different characters in the game, different NPCs that you meet, and some of the choices are based on who you are, on your abilities, on your race, on anything you can imagine. It's so cool. It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
And
I want to also point out one thing. From what I've seen, it's actually hard to
I
not
cannot
romance.
understand what you are saying whatsoever. Can
No.
you say that again, please?
So, from what I've seen from some videos, that in Baldur's Gate, it's hard not to romance these characters,
Not to do what?
not to romance.
Sorry, I'm not following. What are you talking about now?
That the characters are hard not to romance.
What do you mean by that?
Uh, uh, you know what? I think I might be saying it wrong.
You could be saying
So,
it right, but I just you just have to explain yourself.
so
Just
what I mean is
say it in a
that
different way,
there is a
please.
lot of
Like,
options, but sometimes
yeah.
those options are so like um how do I say them? Say it. Basically, there are a lot of options that do not sound romantic, but they are
Ah,
basically romantic. So you basically try to
yes.
romance one character, but you can't because you already at, accidentally romance another. So
Okay. I understand what you mean now. Um,
yeah,
I'm looking at the definition of the verb to romance. It means to tell stories that are not true or to describe an event in a way that makes it sound better than it was.
mm,
Or it can mean to try to persuade someone to love you. So I wasn't sure what you exactly meant, especially because you said to romance the characters. So sorry, I just wasn't following. But
yeah,
I think I know what you mean now. To romanticize, to sort of idealize. Is that what you
yeah,
mean here?
yeah,
Okay.
more or less.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so also, what about the game Skyrim? I mean, you must have heard about this game. I've played it
Yeah,
a lot. I love that game. One of my favorite game of
yeah,
all
it's good.
time. And again, the difference here is that Skyrim gives you a similar kind of feeling because it's just a massive world that you are part of. But the difference is that here in Baldur's Gate 3, you control a party of characters. It's not just one character. Also,
Yeah,
the view is what do you call it? Isometric view, I believe it's called.
yeah, more or
I
less.
think so. I think it's called isometric. I'm just gonna quickly check it, but it's not the 3D view. It's isometric view. I mean, you can kind of like rotate the camera and all, so it is kind of like 3D. But when you do the combat and when you move the characters around, it's really isometric in my opinion. Anyway, while Skyrim is
First
purely
person.
three purely first person, so it's 3D as far as I
Also,
know.
it's not turn-based combat in Skyrim.
That's right. It's all real time.
Basically, in D&D, you have this party, and each of them can specialize in something
Specialize.
else.
Yeah.
Specialize in something.
Specialize.
Special. Spec, well, that's good.
Specialize.
Specialize.
Yeah. hmm
So this is the same thing as in Baldur's Gate. So you can choose with each character, like which rogue you can stealth attack. With wizard you can cast spells that can be useful.
hmm
Like it's the same in D&D that you basically have a group and you sometimes even decide as a group what you are going to do. And when you
Yeah.
are a single person in Baldur's Gate, you are doing all of the thinking alone. So
Yeah. But there is a multiplayer version, So if you have a bunch of friends and you can play together, like each of you has a different character and you would go through the same story. So I'm just curious what it would feel like, how different it would be from the actual single player game, because I think like it's mostly aimed at single player, right?
I think it's mostly, yeah, I think you are right. I think it's mostly aimed at single player, but I think you can play it in multiplayer. Like the main thing that I like about D&D is that y- it's mostly you need a lot of top people to play it. Like even though you don't need a small, you don't need you can still go without having a larger group, like with two players and one dungeon master. But it's way better when you have like 5 players and one dungeon master
Or four. Well, here you have four characters maximum.
or characters.
So what mhm.
Yeah,
You can choose from a lot of characters, but at one point you can only have four as a
yeah,
party, because like you can replace one of them and bring someone else in. You can always swap because they stay at your camp. It the mechanics are impressive, honestly.
yeah.
What is
What
your
I can
first impression then?
imagine, so with this, what I can imagine is that you have a really large group, like we are talking about 12 people, but not everyone can be at the same time in the when people are playing. So it's mostly just sometimes four, and
Yeah,
when those people are available, you play with them. So so basically you have that amount of players, but they are not there at that time. And when
yeah.
a new character comes to your group, that means that another player is joining mid campaign.
I don't. I'm not
So
sure this is the best way to play because you might miss the quests and it might be difficult to catch up. I'm not sure. I think the best way to play is just to have the same players and go
I
through the
mean,
whole story together.
when you are older and when you are mainly adult, you don't really get that much time that I can. I think you know that really well. That you
Yeah,
don't really get that much time, and basically having like 4 people having free time at one point, it's basically just nearly impossible.
yeah, that's true.
So
Oh,
so while having more players is good in this way, but it also means that some people are going to miss on some quests. So
hmm. So Matthias, so what do you think of the game then? What do you make of it?
it's
What's your first impression?
well, I think it's good. It really resembles D&D. I think it's good. Like I still prefer like being dungeon master and controlling the game because my
Mm,
creativity
mm,
is just on another level. Yeah. So it's a good game when you are
mm.
when you don't have a dungeon master mainly. When you are 4 people,
Yep.
no one wants to dungeon master. No one God, no one wants to be a dungeon master. Then I think this is a game for you.
Hmm. Exactly. So the graphics are excellent as well.
Yeah.
Um,
They nearly burned the next PC.
Yeah, I had to reduce the quality, but now it's working like magic. I have to say, like
Yeah.
clockwork.
Yeah. S-
Um,
I mean, it's a really good game. I think it's really well made. The story is good, and actually, the characters actually act like in D&D. Like that's impressive actually.
hmm,
Like you have the first person that you meet and group of it is actually really hostile towards you, and yeah, it's actually the same way that you would actually play with some players.
yeah, it's
Like
definitely they have been developing this game for so long, so they really put their hearts into it, and it shows. So I want to ask one last question, Matthias. Would this be a good game to learn English with or from?
I think yes. I think even just like in D&D, you can learn a lot because there are a lot of new words. You can also practice when you and in the game it's a little bit worse than in D&D because you sometimes don't talk, which can which can hurt your pronunciation sometimes.
But that depends, Matthius. That depends because if you talk, if you play with someone, then you
Then
have
you
to talk.
talk.
You have to communicate to make decisions together, right?
Yeah.
You can't just go and do something. You should talk about what to do, right?
So then, well, basically, if you're playing ink alone, then it can help you with vocabulary. But when you are
Hmm.
with someone else, then it helps you a lot also with um, pronunciation.
Yeah, I mean, you can learn so much from this. As an English teacher, I can see so much potential. So, number one, you have a lot of exposure to the English language, reading so much text, listening. There are so many voiceovers. All the characters talk to you. It's incredible. Then you have to make choices again. You have to read. Then you hear the characters say the things, so you have to listen. Then, if you play with a mate or if you stream, like I do in the Achievers Chamber, you can talk to someone, talk about the game, give advice, and just have fun. And then, as you said, you improving your pronunciation, all that. It's one of the best games, in my opinion, to learn English with because you get all that. Not all games are like this. Not all games are like a lot of there are a lot of games where you just what do you call it?
Slash
Slash
and
and move.
dice. Ah,
Slash
slash
and
and
move.
yeah,
So it's like Diablo or something like that.
yeah,
Here, the story is so rich. It's incredible.
yeah.
So
The only thing that I can see about D&D that could be like slightly worse for English students is that you don't really read stuff. You basically more or less listen and
hmm,
talk. So
well,
you
not in the game though, like because there are
in
books
the
as well you
game,
can find.
yeah,
The game has a lot of text.
yeah. But in D&D, the traditional one, not in Baldur's Gate, then you are not reading that much, but you are talking. I think way
Yeah,
more.
that's true. But this is a computer RPG, so
Yeah,
in this game you read a lot as well if you want to. And yeah, I mean, you cannot go wrong with this. It's just about whether you are a gamer or not. I think you have to be a little bit of a gamer to enjoy this game. If this is your first game, you
I
will
would not.
probably have a hard time.
I
You
would
will
not
have a hard time.
suggest this as the first game. Just like with D&D, unless you have like one really good person that can teach you into it, then you
Mm,
shouldn't probably play it because
yeah,
in D&D you can get overwhelmed really quickly because the base rule book has like 400 pages, and that's basically
yeah.
just the base game. So
But
basically,
this is not like that. Obviously a computer game tries to find a way to ease you into it as
yeah,
well. So you have tutorials. You
yeah,
don't always get everything from the beginning. Yeah? So as you learn the spells, like at the beginning, you only have a few spells before you move on to become more powerful, and then you have a bigger choice of spells. But it's trying to take it step by step with you, right? The game.
yeah, I agree.
Yeah, but when it comes to learning English, definitely go for it. As well,
Yeah, I
the
agree.
voiceovers are impressive. Like different races, they have different accents. So goblins sound like Cockney speakers, like from London. It's pretty cool actually. And dwarfs sound like Northerners, I think, something like that. It's really really cool. And then you have got like the wizards. They have very posh accents. So yeah, it's just there's so much. The game is so rich and so good for learning English, but you have to be a gamer. That is my caveat.
Or you can take out of information at once and make sense of it. That's another
Yeah.
thing that could be could be helpful.
Okay, Matthias, I think it's high time we took a look at the feedback because that's
Yeah,
something I do here as well in these interactive English sessions. And I'm gonna share my screen with you, and we will go through that together. Okay, so here we go.
yeah.
How do you pronounce the name of the game, Matt?
Baldur's Gate 3, 3.
Yeah, okay, but the biggest issue of course, and you called it,
Yeah, it's
is
the number.
the number. So you need to pronounce it three. Otherwise, you're going to be saying
3.
free. Yeah, so there's a difference. Free.
Yeah,
Fit, fat, few. Different sound. Three,
yeah.
the sound is like
3.
think. Three, I don't know what. Thanks. Yeah,
Yeah.
different sound.
3.
Uh, hmm. Your
3.
tongue has to touch your teeth.
I mean, I'm touching it,
Three.
but yeah. 3.
Uh,
Yeah.
I like this
3.
expression when you said, I have butchered number three. So, what does it mean if you butcher something?
That you basically messed up.
Especially it's
Basic
used when you're
when
talking
you
about pronunciation of something.
yeah, like
Hmm.
when you basically said it so wrong, but you realize, yeah, basically when you said it so wrong that it has that, God, when it has no way of being correct.
Yeah, it's also used, maybe sort of, it shows that you had one job, right? You were supposed
Yeah,
to say it correctly and then you butchered it. You completely mispronounced it, and
yeah,
and and
not
often
even
often
close.
yeah, not even close, and it often means that it's kind of disappointing
Yeah,
because like the expectations were way higher. But it's okay. um, you said the Baldur's Gate is based on D&D, so what's wrong with that? So I will tell you what's wrong with that. So I wouldn't use the.
oh,
Yeah, whether you say Baldur's Gate or Baldur's Gate 3, you don't want to, because the name of the game doesn't need the article. It's
oh,
just It's just that. However, if you were to use the word game after that, you could say the Baldur's Gate game is based on D&D. That would be okay,
oh, I
but
see.
not like this. But not like this.
All right,
Yeah. Uh, yeah. Then we have got this word, the last word. How should you pronounce it?
come on,
Not common. Common.
come on.
Common. Yeah.
All right,
Oh. Oh.
oh,
Common.
come on.
Because come is something different, right? Come
Yeah,
is different from common.
yeah. All right.
hmm What about this one then? How should you pronounce this word?
Specialization,
Spec- specialization. Specialization, I think.
specialization.
Yeah.
All right.
I think there are two ways to pronounce it. Americans would say specialization, but British people would say specialization.
Specializ specialization. God,
Specialization, yeah.
specialization. Yeah.
hmm Okay, then let's carry on with this one then.
Thief,
So again,
thief.
th sound,
Yeah.
yeah. So thief, thief.
Thief, thief.
Yeah. Otherwise, you would be making exactly the same sound as the last sound, which you
Yeah.
don't want. Now, how about this one?
Paladin,
No. Paladin.
Palad,
Paladin.
paladin,
Din. Din at the end. Paladin.
paladin, paladin.
hmm hmm Now, this one.
Charisma,
Charisma. Yeah.
charisma.
Okay. I can imagine that each of them have a different story. What's wrong with that?
Each one of them.
Um, no, that's not a issue.
Uh,
The verb
he,
is.
he has.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. How would you pronounce this word?
Consequences.
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 Consequences. How about this one?
Facepalm.
Not palm, but palm. Palm.
Facepalm.
Face palm. Yeah.
Facepalm.
Long R. And no L. L is silent. Face palm.
Facepalm.
Mm-hmm. Okay. How about this one?
Um,
This is something that should be read, I think.
there are 10 possible options. Multipliers.
Can you make options?
Maybe take
Can you
options.
take options? I mean, you can take options, but I guess it's better to say have. You have options or you choose from options.
I suppose.
You can take one option. You know what I mean? Like once you choose it, you take that option, but
Yeah.
I think you wanted to say have here or choose from. This would sound better.
No.
Anyway,
Like you can make a decision. Like
yeah, but not option. You cannot make an option. You can make options if you are the dragon master. What do you call it? Dungeon master.
Dungeon
Then
Master.
you make means create in English, Matthius.
Yeah.
So here you want to say choose from or have
Choose
options.
from.
Hmm.
Yeah. All right.
Select maybe. Select from. Okay. Now this is a bit tricky because these two, I I said this one, you said the first one. Technically, a lot of people would say it like that, but in the ideal world, you wouldn't because it's correct to say not less, but
Fewer. Fewer.
fewer. Yeah, that's it.
Fewer.
And instead of amount,
The amount. Number.
yes, because the word choice is countable. And with countable nouns, we don't use the words less and amount. Instead we
Yeah.
use fewer and number. However, there are a lot of people who break this rule, so it's not such a big deal. How should you pronounce this one?
Bef. Befriend someone.
No,
Bef.
no, Matthius. How do you pronounce this one?
Before.
So, how would you pronounce this one?
Befriend.
Befriend. To befriend someone. That's it. Hmm?
Befriend. All right.
Now, this is the word or this phrase I couldn't remember. So well done. You get attached to a character, you sort of become, you get familiar with that character so much that it is difficult to let go of. You
Yeah.
kind of become emotional, and when your character dies, let's say, or something, it's a tough moment. Yeah. So that means to get attached to something or someone. It could even be an item, like
Yeah.
Gollum got attached to his ring, right? Okay,
Yeah.
it's probably one of the most sad things. How could you make this better?
Most saddest things.
Yeah, but without most.
One of the saddest things you can,
Yeah.
without the most.
Go and go through. Yeah, because
Oh,
again,
oh, true.
true, through, through. These last two are pronounced in the same
True.
way, but it's through. You want to say to
True.
go
True.
through like this. Yeah. Because
Yeah.
otherwise you're saying the word true, which is
True.
different.
All right.
True, through. Can you hear the difference?
Yeah.
How about this one?
Stealth.
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 Very good. Very good. How about this one?
Dexterity.
Where's the stress? Is it
Dex.
dexter? No, it's on te.
De- Dexterity.
Dexterity. Dexterity. I think, as far as I know, dexterity. How about this one?
Special.
S-
Spe-
specialize.
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 Yeah, we had a similar word, specialization.
Yeah.
This one is to specialize. Hmm. Now, I like this phrase. We said it really resembles the game, and or did you say it really resembles D&D or something? I can't
Yeah.
remember. Something like that. Either way, it's a very good verb to use here. What does to resemble mean, Matthius?
That it looks really similar to something else.
Exactly. Hmm. And this is a little bit of self-correction. I keep messing up this word. Um, it's not caveat, ladies and gentlemen. I apologize, but it's caveat. Caveat. Yeah. If you're wondering what it means, it's like a warning. Let me check it. And did I also misspell it? I did. Okay. It is this word. It's just doing my head in.
Yeah, don't
Okay.
worry.
Sorry,
I
guys.
have a problem with the th sound, so
Yeah. Everybody has something. This is just, I know this word. I can use it well, but I just can't spell it apparently and pronounce. Okay. Now, everybody has something. There you have it. Even English teachers. So a caveat is a warning to consider something before taking any more action, or a statement that limits a more general statement. Caveat is like a warning, basically.
yeah,
Okay. Because I think I didn't I say that my caveat is like this is not a game for everyone or something like that.
maybe.
Anyway, this is it, Matthius. That's all for today. I hope you enjoyed it.
Yeah, I'm
And
just
yeah,
slightly sunburnt, so yeah.
hang on. What?
I'm slightly sunburnt since I was on sun all day yesterday, so I'm
I don't
slightly
understand.
red.
I don't understand the relevance to what I just said.
No, just pointing it
Just
out if
point.
somebody thinks that I'm a little bit too red.
Oh yeah, I've just noticed. You look like a devil.
Yeah, just so that people don't think that I'm a devil, because Dungeon
Well,
Masters more or less are devils.
what I will say is that better the devil you know, better the devil you know. Thanks for featuring again, Matthius, and
Yeah, and
yeah,
have a wonderful day or
thank you very
night
much.
or
I'm
whatever
gonna
it is where you are.
I'm gonna be hosting my event in the Achievers Chamber soon. So yeah, if you are wondering what the hell is this Achievers Chamber, Zdenek, that you keep mentioning, well,
It is in the description. Hi, I'm Matthius, and I like Echu Chamber because I think there are really nice people, and the atmosphere is overall really good.
for more information about the Achievers Chamber, go to teachersdenek.com.
Wait, did I mispronounce atmosphere?
Yes. Well, it's good that you know now.
Yeah, I probably back then I probably just forgot the pronunciation.
That's good because I like it when it's more authentic. These are
Yeah,
real people. This is not. I didn't make these uh, ad videos. Uh, you
from
know,
AI, basically from our
yeah, that's
voice.
what I wanted to say. I didn't use robots to record this. These are real people who make mistakes too.
Yeah,
So if you want, you can join us, and you can watch some of the game as well. Some of the
and you
Baldur's
can
Gate game.
laugh at Zdenek if he makes a mistake. Trust me, it's always good.
Like when I have to resurrect my character for the 10th time in 1 hour because a spider killed it. Hmm.
I can.
Okay. Well, anyway, thank you very much for watching, and yeah, give this video a like, and don't forget to subscribe as well.
If you like
Take
the
care.
content,
If
take
of
care.
course, well, you don't do it if you don't like the content, because that doesn't make any sense whatsoever.
Yeah,
All right, Matthias, thank you, and
yeah.
take care,
Thank
everyone.
you.
Bye bye.
Yeah, see you.
See ya.